I am your host, Ruth Kerubo. So last time I did a live, unfortunately our sound was off. Imagine those were 43 minutes of my lifetime gone like that. Anyway, here, so I'll just do another live on it because I value sharing my thoughts and hearing what are your thoughts on absenteeism. So I wanted to start with a quote, and it says, "Education is in a state of emergency. Chronic absenteeism is at an high, and students are disengaging from a system that wasn't designed for them. The old ways aren't working. It is time for a revolution." So you're finding there is a lot that is literally happening, especially in the year 2025, which is a year of revelation, a year of revolution. So people are starting to unsubscribe from things that are not serving them, from systems that are not serving them. Yeah. And that's why you're likely to see a change in everything, literally everything, especially in education. Like right now in Kenya, the problem that we are battling is that now the hiring process is no longer a merit based process. It has become a political process, you see. And we need revolution, literally. As much as we say one man's meat is another man's poison, you find those who are finding it as poison are many than even those who are finding it to be meat. Literally, they are benefiting from it. So there is need for a change. So why am I doing this live concerning absenteeism? So it was inspired by a post I'd seen someone saying that, once the KCSE results have been released, you'll find the HOIs, the head of institutions, asking questions. Mwalim, after doing everything, going for the symposiums, going for the competitions, and going for remedials, etc., you could only afford a mean grade of 1 point something, which is a strong pH of an acid. So it was hilarious, but when you come to think about it, there is a lot of weight. Even that statement, you literally come to find that it conveys a lot of pain. You have invested everything, you have done so much, and we know that to whom much is given, much is expected. So somehow, once you invested something, you expect to see good returns, and unfortunately you find that the mean grade or whatever, it's not that appealing. So you try to ask this question. Some ask, why do we have a big no head? This animal, the big elephant in the house, has no head. Literally, you find maybe you have few champions and the rest are literally on the tail. There was also a post I saw someone asking that, about HR management policies, that sometimes people offer like literally their output is usually proportional to, or rather, and this is dependent on other factors such as how well they are motivated. So there were those who are asking like, oh, when you see those E's and D's, it is very proportional to how the very teachers are treated. But all I wanted to say is that results, especially for people who are goal-oriented, the result-oriented, there are very many things that play a role towards the results that you're seeing, the MSS that you're seeing. Yeah. And I just wanted to mention before I come to zeroing in on chronic absenteeism. One of the reasons is chronic absenteeism, both from the students, from the teachers, and other stakeholders. So it does contribute. Another reason that you find that this poor performance is there is because there is minimal cooperation. Yeah, you have had even teachers saying, I'm on duty this week, so I expect maximum cooperation from everyone. So it's true that cooperation brings uh, the team together, and that teamwork is what will make the dream work. So failure to cooperate, it means like the dream will not work at all. Yeah, you just be pushing and you find that others are pushing the other way around, so you're moving a step ahead and people are moving 2 steps ahead, so there's literally no progress that is happening. So another thing is about low academic proficiency, especially, so we have I don't know, is it a generation whereby children have a low concentration span? Some literally, I don't know, maybe they suffer from Down syndrome. Others are just simply time takers. Yeah, they are slow learners. And you'll find that the content is so much that they are not able to grasp. And the way it is blended is that you must understand this to go to the next level. So failure to you to understand a certain prerequisite means that you continue losing a lot. And at the end of the day, that student will become a person who has become hopeless and helpless. Yeah. So the fact of being self-regulated, that sense literally is lost. Okay. Yeah, so that happens. You can do everything, give all resources, but this child is not, they're putting effort, but haiwezi awana is also a factor, very important factor, especially when you consider that we have been having the 100% transition. You find some children, literally you push them, unlike in other years where we were doing the repetition, so before a child proceeds to the other class, they must have grasped that content. Right now just do 100% transition, so there is a possibility that some children, yeah, they had a low entry behavior and it's not going to change. So it's either they maintain that, or if they add value, it's by few points. So yeah, that's what happens. Another thing is about peer pressure, in this case negative peer pressure, which also contributes to low performance. And other things are social media hazards that are out there. So yeah, those are just some of the factors. In short, we pretend a lot by asking very funny questions. Why is the head not there? After all that, this is what you people could afford. The writing is on the wall. We know. Yeah? The HOIs know. The HODs know. The head of subjects know. The class teachers know. The teachers know. The students themselves know where the problem is. Yeah? They know where the rain started beating. Yeah. And it's like for national schools, you'll find still the children who went and became satisfied, complacent. They just became like, they got that maybe 400 and they just relaxed. And yeah, they get even below C+. They don't get direct entry to the university. So you see, it's you could have a good entry point, but if you don't work, if you're not industrious enough, the system might not favor you. You see, so you can't sit and wait just for results to come. You just have to think about it. Yeah. And that's why you'll find even some people have different personalities. There are those who need to work under pressure. Right now, there are no canes, there is no corporal punishment, just talking. And people, especially the cholerics, need to work under pressure. So when they find that there is no pressure, they tend to under-deliver. And that reflects in what is being done. However, I prefer in an ideal environment that we should have people who are self-regulated, they have self-efficacy, they know what they're doing, and yeah, life continues normally. Yeah, so let's go to chronic absenteeism, and we'll start with the students. Why do you think a student will be absent from school, or they decide to be truant? Yeah. So basically, a child should be in school without fail, and if they're not in school, probably they should be at home. Yeah. And if they're not at home, then they should be doing some co-curricular activities somewhere. And if they're not there, then they should be in hospital. So if you find a child for any reason is not within the school during school learning hours, because you've been saying do the right thing at the right time with the right people in the right manner, so some you find that in not so good locations. Yeah, like you'll find someone is, yes, at the right place but at the wrong time. Some could be working because maybe they come from poor background. So like there's a day I went to just walking around in town, then I met this child collecting some waste materials, I think for recycling. And I asked him, why are you not in school? He was like, pesa. So you see, this child, yes, at the end of the day they're supposed to work, yeah, once they're above 18, just to get a means of livelihood. But you find now, yes, they're at the right place but at the wrong time. Yeah, they should be learning, but now they are just finding a means of with life, of just surviving. Maybe some you find they're orphans, so yeah, especially the elder ones, the firstborns, they're forced to be parents, to step in as parents, take care of their young ones. So yeah, they deny themselves all the privileges and even the rights, as the right to education. Yeah. So some could be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Like they could be in drinking dens, some could be in those what do we call them? Lodgings. And I don't know how possible it is, because I understand that usually IDs are given out before even you go to a club. So perhaps for those who are above 18 years, you'll find they will be engaging in antisocial activities. Yeah, maybe just for fun or whatever, and it's not pleasing at all. So it means there's someone who has not taken the role well, and that's why the children are where they are. Yeah. Another reason as to why a child will be absent is maybe they have gone to attend a social function like a funeral, a wedding, and in this case it means it's up to their management to know where the child is. They are the ones who are responsible for giving the exits. Yeah, so it's up to them really to know where the child has gone, when are they returning back, and how are they going to compensate. Other reasons as to why a student will be absent is if they have been suspended for disciplinary issues, or they have been expelled from a school. Yeah, it's so unfortunate. Some even go ahead to ban their school, so yeah, you'll be expelled. So we have other reasons that a child will miss out on school. Perhaps the weather was bad, so they developed maybe allergies, and that's why they're not in school. Sometimes it's the parents who actually are like, just stay at home, especially for these scholars. Maybe the previous day they had intense activities. Maybe they went on a hike. The child is not willing also to go to school, so the parents just says tuka nyumbani, hakuna haja, and it's okay. Yeah. Other reasons is religious reasons. Understand for some schools, children are forced to go to school even on weekends. So what happens in such a case is that a child, maybe if they're Sabbath keepers, on Saturday they'll not report to school, and the unfortunate part is that you find the teacher is not now doing even remedial. They are literally running the syllabus. So this child will miss out. Sometimes they get discriminated, at least from what I've seen. But it means if you're going out for religious reasons, then for at least 6 days, You should deliver your best so that you rest on that 7th day of yours. Yeah. Other reasons is perhaps because residence. Yeah, I've seen this for institutions whereby, yeah, it's a day school and maybe the distance is so far, so a parent has decided to rent a house for a child within the vicinity of the school, and they are very far away. So in this case, you find there's also another disconnect. The parent don't provide real contacts. So you as the class teacher will go to class, Ruth Kerobo, absent. You go to do a follow-up, then you find the phone number that was given, it's not going through. Ama mteja kwa nambari hapatikani kwa sasa. So it becomes a challenge. You at home as the parent, now as Ruth Kerubo's parent, you believe Ruth is at school. But in real sense, Ruth is at the place you rented for her. Maybe she woke up on that day very late, or she just decided not to go to school. Yeah. So if there is no follow-up being done, you find that Ruth is going to drop out with the time, because now she's becoming consistently absent. She's becoming a chronic absentee. And by the time she reports to class, she would have missed a lot. And that will make her literally hopeless. So she'll just feel like, why am I wasting time? So she decides to drop out from school. And that's very unfortunate. Another reason is perhaps during holidays. Yeah. And that's very understandable. I don't think there's another reason. But you realize where we have a big problem is with the middle class. Those ones, they'll be like, I want to afford this life for my child. You're taking a child to a school because of status, a school that you're not able to afford, being sent home for school fees, being sent home for transport. I don't know why we do this. Why do we subject our children to such kind of a life? Just deliver what you can. Yeah, they will understand. Because at the end of the day, you are destabilizing them. They are not gaining anything, but you just want to be seen as father so and so who has a child in such and such a school, but you're not able to sustain it. It's virtually unsustainable for you. You're straining. So yeah. So what do we do? What do we do now? Yeah. So first, if a child is absent, the first thing is to do a follow-up, and this means that as stakeholders, the teachers, the parents, we need to have a means of communication that is formal, it's transparent, yeah, so that we know where the child is. Another thing is, especially now for boarding schools and universities, you can have an electric means of signing in, yeah, the biometric. Like I've seen it work for schools like Loreto, Limuru. Yeah, so once the child does the biometric signing, even a message is sent to the parent to alert them that your child is in school. And this is very nice, I think, because even you as a parent, now that in our schools we don't allow phones, at least for majority of these schools, at least you will now be settled knowing your child is safe at school. You'll now start having productive thoughts instead of having unproductive thoughts. Did my child arrive at school? Are they safe? Did they find an accident? And such kind of questions. Now you're able to focus on work, on raising their school fees, on ensuring that you meet the demands. Yeah. So another thing that we can do is to have a way of managing the exits, the official permissions to go out. You can manage them at the administrative level, because it's true, sometimes children lie, especially in boarding school. A child literally feels homesick, they're nostalgic, and they can fake, like I remember there's a time children would I don't know how they used to do the eye, then it turns red, And when they come, they're literally, complaining of eye, and you're like, you cannot stay like this. And they convince you to give them a permit. So you need to have a way of ascertaining that this child is indeed sick and they need to seek Medicare. Another point related to that is we should establish sanatoriums or health units where the child gets at least the first aid or first medical care before they go out. Most children are out even for simple things like allergies, for asthma, which could be just controlled, managed within the school institution. Maybe you have a nurse. Though in some schools, I understand they use matrons, though this is not what I can advocate for, because most matrons are simply above 35. They maybe have a diploma in just it's not health, in cookery. How is it connected to now nursing part, ensuring that the child's health and wellness is taken care of? So yeah, we need to do something about it, because like, at least from what I've seen, you find some schools, you give the sick sheet, especially if you're a teacher on duty, man, and you come to find out it is illegal. You're not the one supposed to issue those sick sheets and leave out. It's supposed to be the role of a deputy and the principals or whatever. Yeah, so there's need for management of those exits by having Medicare being given in schools. Though now the challenge comes in by the fact that you find that things like Equity Afia have been suspended. Now schools are not able to contain these illnesses within the school, and because of the risk, a child might die, and some do mediocre work. You're asked to give a letter or a form, go and fill a medical form, so that there is disclosure of any allergy your child could be having, maybe so that they are given a special diet. You find most parents just go and forge, and they're like, no, not applicable. Next minute a child is eating even maybe bread or wheat, and they develop allergies, and it becomes a problem. So whose problem is it now? It means someone failed in their work. They fail to disclose. Another thing related to wellness is about having functional guidance and counseling departments. And in my opinion, we should have experts. The moment we start even using teachers, yes, they can do, especially the older folks. They have been in the industry for long. Sometimes we also have our own stress. You cannot pour out from an empty cup. So it's good, maybe you have therapists, occupational therapists, you have counselors who can deal with some of these problems. Because I understand the children of today are a unique generation. Some are coming from dysfunctional families. You'll find even your two of you in the same school, but the people paying school fees are different. Maybe parent A pays child for child A, parent B pays fee for child B. And, because parents, even in terms of their financial muscles, are different, the children will feel the difference. They will. Some even at home, there's maybe divorce, and they need to be talked to that life will go on. So we have some of these problems. Some are suffering from terminal illnesses and they need to be talked to. Some just come with a very good grade, very good entry behavior, but they start going down. They have mental issues that needs to be dealt with. They just have their own issues. So a guidance and counseling department will come in handy. And it's worth noting that sometimes as teachers, I feel that we play a role as to why the children are not able to open up. Instead, we are supposed to provide a safe environment for them to thrive. But instead you'll find that maybe someone shared their issues and you go and share it with someone, and they're maybe bypassing around the staff room and they hear they're now the topic. So they tend to shy away from seeking help. And I think we need to hold ourselves accountable and be professional as possible. So, yeah. Another thing that we can do is for children who have been sent out for school fees, we need maybe to, as parents, look for academic sponsors to at least facilitate the child to be in school. Go and seek for those bursaries. No, you need to also up your game as a parent. Yeah, things are tough, but that doesn't mean that nothing can be done. Yeah, so as parents, we need to up our game also in ensuring that the fee has been paid. Yeah, so your child is not sent home. Yeah, another thing that is regards to that fee, you find there are schools whereby, yeah, tuition is free, but now there is the lunch program. Most children are not able to concentrate if their stomachs are empty. It's just common sense. Remember, they're using a lot of energy, mental energy, and this requires food. So when you find a child woke up, they never took something in the morning, or if they took, it was something light, because at that time, even the throat hasn't opened up really. Yeah, the palates are not ready for food. So they walk for miles and miles, and by the time they're in school, they're already fatigued, they can't concentrate. Maybe there should be programs, food programs, and they need to be facilitated by the parents in this case. So there's need for food to be considered. Yeah, maybe if kuna vitu wanaitanga chakula ya msoro, yeah, the relief food, maybe that can help, even if it's literally beans and whatever, pojo, it can help. Because what I've seen from personal experience is that some children will tell you, no, I didn't come to school because njaa inakuwa hapo shule. No, so they opt to be at home and just look for a way to eat, just eat. Yeah, that is so intense. I'm really sorry for such experiences. And this is so deep. You know, sometimes you find some of the students affected are prefects, leaders. Maybe they have the top ranks. It's hard even for them now to concentrate, because how do you govern the rest of the students when you yourself, it's like you're not complying, and it's not your problem, it's the parents' problem. So yeah, it tends to diminish their self-esteem, and very little we can do even as teachers. You know, we can call you, come and maybe take our lunch, but for how long? It's not sustainable. And at the same time, we are wanting to promote fairness. So if students learn that you're calling so and so to come and eat, to come and share your meal, what about them? They'll feel left out, and now that brings another problem. So really, for uniformity, parents need to do something. Or should we introduce these lunches, packed lunch? But again, I understand people come from different backgrounds. There's someone who can afford sweet potatoes, someone can afford only porridge, some will afford githeri. So there will be disparities. Sometimes there's that risk of poisoning. I don't know the rationale as to why we have lunch programs strictly at school, but maybe there's something that can be done about it. Yeah. Another thing is to have attendance tracking. Yeah, because it does contribute, you know. Obviously, we have the outliers. There are children, like for me, I remember in class 5, there was a time I never attended school because I used to have boils. And other days, you find our house helps have left abruptly, and, you know, your parents have to go to work. And in this case, during that transition, you just stay with your little sibling. So, but still, I could outperform the people who are in class. So we have those outliers, but you find that it's true that being present is proportional to even the results that will be reflected at the end of the year cumulatively. Another thing is to re-engage students. We need, like I started with a quote, and there's need for revolution. You're realizing that most students don't really have an interest in academics. So we need to identify what else are they good at. Like I realized there are students during first term, second term, they'll not miss school. Why? Because we have drama, we have sports, so they're engaged. But now third term, you find they are serious studies. The ministry says that there should be visitors within the school, so they feel bored to the core. And for these scholars, yeah, they tend to start being absent just like that. Yeah. So it's good for us to re-engage our students in co-curricular as well as the core curricular activities. Yeah, if it's academics, let's find engaging ways of them to be in school. Just be fun. Let's dance, jump, engage technology. There's a lot that we can do. Yeah. Obviously, that is if you're facilitated, because you find elsewhere there is no Wi-Fi. So even when it comes to technology, you're literally using your phone, your bundles. And that's why we say that teaching is really a noble career. Yeah. Sometimes you have to remove something from your pocket. Like for me, what I used to do is that I take them for field trips. Yeah, like in my former geography lesson class, I could go out and they'll be like, Sutubaye ngumu, and you're like, you're only 9 of you. That is only 90 bob. What is it? Just buy for them. Just to even motivate them. And they'll have the subject at the end of the day. So, yeah, let's find ways of engaging our students. Yeah, and our learners. Another thing, when it comes now to children who are absent because of discipline issues, it means we now have to come with effective disciplinary action. Some actually even sneak, and you're like, why did you sneak? Maybe they went to take some drug, there was a lava somewhere, very funny issues. And maybe you get to listen to them. Sometimes you get to pardon some issues which are not that deep. There are reasons like that we are capital offenses. Yeah, like stealing, exams, engaging in malpractices. Yeah, examination malpractices would obviously grant you even a suspension and okay kwenu until you wait for the national exams, and you end up losing. So it's good that even as parents, as teachers, we continue emphasizing on discipline. Yeah, discipline will take you a long way, very, very, very far. Yeah, even if you're smart, try your best to be as disciplined as possible. I don't know whether I've left anything behind. Another thing I wanted to say is parental engagement. I was reading in some groups, and you find the parents are like, when we come even for those conferences, we don't want to be engaged so much. And you're like, voila. Some don't want to be told the truth. They want to be told, your child is so nice, they are so good, they participate in class even when they don't. But a parent who is interested in their children's success will be really interested in knowing the truth and the absolute truth, even when it pains. Yeah, let them be told, on such and such a day your child was absent because of ABCD. Did you talk to them? They need to know where the child is weak, and they should be willing to help that child. Maybe a child doesn't have the necessary materials. They need to provide. No, there's situations, especially in sub-county schools, you find that even the basic things that are needed for admission are not given. from the word go. Dictionary, kamusi, atlas, ruler, geometrical set. So it now becomes a problem. You'll be forced to send out the learners to go and fetch these materials when you arrive at a certain topic. Let's say it's math. You're doing geometry. There's no way we can draw even just a perpendicular line without using the geometrical instruments. So once you have sent this child for the instruments, they go and go forever until you recall them during the exam. So they end up missing. And that's why I was saying some of the reasons as to why these children are failing are always on the wall. It's just that we keep ignoring. So I don't know whose problem is it. Maybe the parents need to be engaged to know, what does my child need to be in school? Also, the management also needs to come up with a way of ensuring there's total compliance from the word go, because once the boundaries are broken, they will be forever broken. So let it be like maybe during admission, this is what we expect. But now the moment you're like, just come the way you are, we shall do things as time progresses. People will be in their comfort zone and nothing will happen. Yeah? So it's better for one to miss from the word go. Then along the way they'll be like, you know what, I'm missing. But now when you find it has become a culture. I read somewhere that culture destroys strategy. Culture destroys strategy. So what kind of caliber do you want in your school? So this depends with us as stakeholders. If we want a culture of compliance, we need to be strict. Yeah? But the moment we are just permissive, you find that culture will destroy strategy. You want to have A's in math. It now becomes impossible because the person you taught today will be different from the one unafunza kesho. Yeah, so and so has been sent for a kamusi. They went, never to return. And by the time this person is returning, they didn't understand that concept. You'll have to redo. So what are we doing? Zero work. Obiti, obiti, as people would call it in my vernacular. You find we are doing zero work. You taught today, tomorrow you are teaching a different lot. The syllabus is not moving. So whose problem is it? Even if you have key performance indicators, in this case, like the MSS, it becomes not reflective of what is on the ground. Yeah. So that is what we can do, partly. And I believe those are very applicable situations that we can do. There's something also I wanted to talk about distances. If it's distant, maybe we can have now the boarding systems coming in or hostel systems, whatever, as long as the child is in school and they're complying. Yeah, so for reasons like a child will be absent from school if they have pregnancy, they'll be out on a clinic, and post-delivery they're at home, then something needs to be done in this case, and that is to offer them the support that they need. Yeah, it's true they have slid, but they need to be encouraged to continue with education nevertheless. For those who are into substance abuse, we can start by rehabilitation. Yeah, that's what we can do. Another thing, especially for children on weekends and holidays, I understand that the reasoning will be because they need to create extra time because the curriculum is a bit overloaded. Yeah, so someone will try to create some time. For parents they will be like, walimu mnataka kutengeneza pesa kutoka remedial, sijui extra mile. Obvious. Okay, yeah, it is partially true, but it's not entirely true. Sometimes it's because you genuinely want to finish the syllabus so children have enough time to revise and prepare for their final exams, to just have the quality grades. But I feel we also go overboard. So in such a case, what do we do now? It means maybe we can give extra work. Yeah, like during the holidays, you give a lot of paperwork, the children go and fill in. They become proactive. Yeah, proactive learners, so that by the time you're coming, you're just perusing and going through where they never understood. So we need to come up with better strategies to deal with that. And the policymakers need to be serious. Mambo zingine, even like the lawmakers now, the ones issuing appointment letters, it's a bit gross. It's very gross. It's very gross. Very, very, very gross. So it's true that some of the education reforms are never, ever centered at improving the ordinary citizen's life. Instead, you find we know we have a problem, especially now in the education sector. You want dedicated teachers who will shape the future of our children. These children are the next generation of leaders. So immediately we destroyed the very fabric of the society, that is education. You have destroyed everything. So you find what's happening is that most of the education reforms are geared for the political class. Someone just wants cheap political mileage, relevance. Others, you find it's the educated elites. They are engaging in these things like, we maybe have a problem, we don't want parts of maybe an education system. So we say we want a certain delegation. So you find professors are there, all they just want is the money, the perks. But now going to the ground, getting the real statistics and finding a way to work towards even bridging the inequality gaps, becomes a problem. You find people are just doing it as a venture, while the political class is just there for political mileage, as well as to get some perks out of the donor funding. That's very intense. So I don't know, we need to reform as a nation. We need to rethink our education system. So let me go to chronic absenteeism for teachers. We have now dealt with the child and we have known why the child will be absent. Yeah. What about teachers? It's true. You could see even sometimes, even on media, that maybe a certain CS, like during maternity time, they have done impromptu visits to schools and you find the teacher is not in class. You find even at least 3 classes the teachers are absent. And I feel it's bad, especially when you find that the people you are reporting to are not aware of your reason for absence from work. That's like boycotting. Yeah, so it becomes a problem, because this child means they have not been attended to. Previously, what used to happen is that you'll find some are village drunkards, some have gone to sell lands, some are business communities, so they will come when they feel like. But as adults, I feel we have a self-conscious. There's no way you'll want to earn from a place that you never, ever put any effort. You never went to that class, but you want to earn. It's not fair. It's not. And that's why even the Bible is so clear. Teachers will be judged harshly. Remember, somehow we are supposed to model. And now this comes to HOIs. If you are absent from work, your colleagues will do the same thing. When you're present, that's when they're present. They also pretend, if you're there half-heartedly, they're also there half-heartedly. And this will also trickle down to students. You'll see them. You don't come to school, they also don't take it serious. Yeah. So, and I think this is where now the TSC was coming up with resolutions such as, having written permission. Yeah. The HOI is to report to the sub-county director of education, for the teachers to report to the admins, that you not be in school for such and such a reason. And there was the lesson recovery schedule, so that if you missed a certain class, you know how you're going to recover that. Yeah. If you don't recover, then it should be deducted. Yeah. And that is fair enough. There's no need to use taxpayers' money or parents' money, yet you're not delivering. Yeah. It's as simple as that. So another thing is that we need to have time. When it comes to HR, they rarely specify the working hours, so you're just there also waiting for time to go home, time to go to school. And let's be honest, sometimes you'll be judged so harshly for leaving early, but no one ever questions the time that you give overtime. You came in early just to do your own things, or maybe do an extra mile. Maybe it's during the examination week, you have come around 6, so obviously there were no remedial or anything, but you went to class to teach. You wanted to cover something, or it's during holidays, you have decided to offer something to the students. We rarely recognize that, and we need to change. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, so somehow we need to change, but at the bottom line is that deliver what you're supposed to deliver within the official working hours. No, stop. Yeah. So another thing is that we can get to undertake teaching and administrative tasks within the stipulated time. Just work. You don't have to be forced that that the gate is closed by 7:30 something or 8. Just do the right thing at the right time. Yeah, be at your workplace. Yeah, and I feel for people who are well motivated, they don't need to be reminded. Your problems will wake you up. Your motivation, your passion just wake you up. Yeah, remember why you started, and be early in class, mwalimu, please. And it's not enough to be a timekeeper. I think the impact is what matters. Yeah, like while you are within the school environment, what were you doing during that time? Yeah, I think you should be doing things like teaching, delivering that content, preparing, marking, discipline, all those things. But when you just go there, you're just waiting for your salary. So basically all that you're doing is going maybe on TikTok, you're on social media, you're on phone. You're disturbing me. It becomes a challenge. You're stealing your employer's time, yet you're being compensated for it. So it's not enough to be at work very early or keeping the hours. It's also about doing the right thing, delivering the deliverables within that period. Meet the targets. Do your work diligently, like you'll do if it was your own business. Yeah. I don't know whether I've left something. Let me check from my notes. Please help me with my... Okay, so I happened to have said we need to have integrity, be compassionate. Let's have even compassion for those who pay the school fees. Yeah, instead of wasting their time. If you don't want the work, stop, don't do it. Go home. So let's leave it at that. In the next video, we shall be looking at employer-employee relationship and how it can be improved to be accommodative towards success. Until next time, bye. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Road to 2,000 subscribers. Yay. Mwambie bye. Bye. So yeah, we have gone. We have exited.